suppose one of the men that guided Philomena in her career, I suppose no better man to call on stage would be Tony Loughman. Are you there, Tony? Tony was not alone was he a good promoter of bands, you know, he was a pretty good footballer as well. And I can assure you, we all knew about Tony and the football that he played, a fairly tough man on the pitch, and I heard he was a tough man to deal with, and I dealt with him myself over the years as well. Tony? Okay, Tony, have you something to tell us about?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, okay, no problem. You were talking to the Queen, of course you were.
You're asking me about something to say, but how long we got? A week or 2 weeks? Huh? You sit down, yeah. For the minute.
I say you have some stories to tell us about her anyway.
Well, there's an awful lot can't be told me. No, but...
tell us the best of the stuff anyway.
I'll tell you the clean parts. No, I met Philomena. I didn't meet her too often, but I had Brian Call, who was massive big at the time in Lyric Cinema in Castleblaney, and I needed a special guest for the show. And I got the number of Philomena. Somebody gave me her number anyhow, and I got her to come to do a guest spot at the grand fee of £25, I think it was, Philomena, was it? So that was a sort of the beginning of the boom in country music. Although Brian Call shoot me for this tonight, but like he was there I think 20 years before that, like, so he was there a lot longer than Philomena and myself, like. But anyway, I couldn't believe what I seen and heard, and I had no interest in music really. I fell into the music business. If I could have been a Peter Canavan or a Mickey Hart or a Mick O'Dwyer and winning All Ireland as a player or manager, it would mean more to me than the music business. Sorry, Philomena. But anyway, I spoke to her and Tom that night, and Tom's not here. Tom would be afraid of getting slagged, but Tom was the man really behind. At that time, Philomena would do nothing unless Tom said you should do it. So I mentioned it to her that night. I said, would you be interested in forming a country band? And I knew she was sort of interested. And I went down a few days later with a poster, Philomena Begley and the Rambling Men. And I chatted to Tom and her, and I had no money. Like, I had a couple of small bands at the time, like, and I had no money, and I had this idea, and I wanted to put a country band round her, and
that was in 1974.
Yeah. So we chatted for a while, and we chatted about money, and money wasn't a top priority with Philomena. Never was. In fact, money doesn't mean much to her.
But fair play, she made it.
Only for Tom, she'd have no money. Tom had minded. But anyway, I chatted, and I came up with a deal. I think it might have been £70 a week or something initially, like, or something like that, or it could have been more, but I won't tell it all. She doesn't want me to say that she made a lot of money and lost it all. Listen, she doesn't want me to say that. But anyway, we chatted anyhow, and I said, well, I'd like to do this is what I'd like to do. And I was new and fresh, not known, not established in the business. And in fairness to Tom and Philomena, they took a chance on me, like, you know. I was after leaving the quarry, and had no experience. And I said to Tom, well, I'll honour the thing anyhow, I might have to sweep the roads to get the money if it doesn't happen, like. And he says back to me, there'll be no sweeping the roads any. He says, if it doesn't happen, we'll forget about it. So we started off, I think you played your first day at Philomena in Wembley on Easter Saturday. And we done the 4 seasons in morning on the Sunday, the 2,900 people, and we played 91 consecutive nights after that. Now, she was the queen, she was the top dog. And still is, might I add. She's out there and she's still doing good business whenever she wants to do it. Now, it went from that, I suppose, that we toured Scotland and England and America and spent a good bit of time in Nashville, which you'll have later on in our achievements. But there were several stories. I can't tell them all, but I remember Margot and Shirley, Margot's friend, Philomena and my secretary and myself, we went to Nashville to do the Queen's Company video CD and cassette, like, you know. And that time you'd go into the studio at 10 in the morning, you'd walk to maybe 5:30 or 6 in the evening, you'd meet up with the producer and his wife, and you'd go out for a meal. And each night, we were there for 10 or 12 days, and I remember when we'd come back in at night, Margot would be very protective of Philomena. Now, you make sure now you go to bed, up in the lift, you go to bed now and be nice and fresh in the morning. We're shooting films tomorrow. You have to, yeah, no bother, like, Philomena, no bother. So we'd be going up the lift. Margot was on a floor below Philomena and Dorothy, who was sharing, and I was on the floor above them. And the minute Margot would warn her and say, now, Philly, I'm telling you, you go straight to your bed now and be well ready for morning. I know Dorothy and herself had stayed till maybe 5 in the morning down the bar. The next morning at 7:30, your phone would ring. And me out for the count, like. And probably Margot and Shirley out for the count. Philomena, he's not up yet. You know, so that's one story. The other point, Mick, with Philomena over the years, I had 2 small bands when Philomena, when she came to me, and since after Philomena there was 47 bands, sort of on our back.
You managed 47 together?
49 altogether, over a 40-year period. But when I say on our back, do you know the way Philomena stooped down? Because if you have a big band, you'll sell 4 or 5 smaller bands on the back of that act. So I was selling a lot of bands on the back, on the strength of Philomena. And indeed for yourself.
I know all about
I had
it.
bands and I'd be looking for dates of you in Waterville. You wouldn't give them to me, but if I threw you the teaser of Big Tom, Philomena and Susan, then I'd get lesser bands in. I don't really mean that. He was very generous when he was down there. But I remember her dad, after I'd done the deal with her, and I'd be up and down fairly regular, and Joe, the bread man, and you'd always be taken in with her mum, Josie, and you'd have the tea and the scones, and father, lovely man, chat to you about bands and bands. There wouldn't be much football talk in it. But I suppose
There's no need to talk about football. That came into your own.
No. But I found our family at all the dances we had. The family would be there supporting them. You wouldn't know they were there until you see them inside. Like, you know, they would come to support her all the time. Very modest family. Patsy, her brother, who, when they talk about the hall in Pomeroy, that was their own hall, Mick.
Their own?
Aye.
So they were well prepared.
They were well prepared. The 1600, all the money stayed at home for that 1600. But Patsy, Lord of mercy, them booked the bands. And he'd ring me, he says, when are you doing the Queen's Diary? I said, I'll not be doing it for another month or 2. You know, you generally do all your dates at the one time, like, you know. So he'd ring me maybe a couple of more times, and I wouldn't be ready to start giving out my dates. And he said, you know, Tony, you and Hor's a great team. It's a great team. And I said, it's not me, I'm only the manager. She's the woman, she's doing it. Oh no, you and her, unbelievable, great team. So this was going on maybe for 3 or 4 phone conversations on the phone. And the next thing I rings him and I say, Patsy, now, have you the diary? Patsy'd have to get the best dates, like. You know, he had to get the best date. There was no word about how good I was then. He was only buttering me up to get the dates he wanted.
You'd be giving him all the Saturdays and Sundays.
Well,
and
Friday nights, it was Friday night.
I see now what was going on, yeah.
But anyway, as I said, Philomena, I'd been with her for a long time, and as you said yourself there, even when she started looking after her own, and you, by the way, you said she was right too, like you were shooting me in the foot there, mate.
Well, that cut out your cut.
I know that, but you said that.
Yeah,
you said that.
I did, yeah.
Why did you say that?
Well, lady, I can tell you.
Philomena, why did he say that? Huh? I don't know. But anyway, we always kept in touch, and both her and Tom and our own immediate family and our family at home, I couldn't say anything. What I could say wouldn't be good enough. And I'll say with Philomena, anybody that knows Philomena and was in contact with Philomena, she's that person or them people are an awful lot better off, because she is the person. She is everything that it takes, not just entertainment, as a mother, a person, goodness. She'd never say a no. I rang her about tonight and she was very busy. She was in London on Saturday. Mary got married last week and I said I wanted to do This Is Your Life. I didn't realise it was Valentine's night at the time.
Good night.
Ah yeah, I'll do it. That's Philomena. She says yes all the time. So that's my story.